Hey guys, Sabri Subi here, and welcome to this module of quantum growth called Catching Wild Boars. And that is really how to go out there and start getting clients when you have limited funds or absolutely no money at all. Because the reality of it is that we all have to start somewhere. And for me, I got started in my bedroom with no more than $50, and I was just cold calling businesses. Now, I'm not going to be going over like how to cold call people, because there's much more effective ways to go out there and get customers in today's day and age, and especially at scale. So I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do that and all the different tools and weaponry that we use when we need to go out there and start getting clients when we don't have money to run Facebook ads. But before, I get stuck into all of that stuff, let's just have a look at what we'll be covering in today's training. So we're going to be going over free customer acquisition, catching wild boars, shotgun hunting, panning gold, sniper rifle acquisition, and also unleashing the beast. So let's get stuck in. Free customer acquisition. And this is really a great place to start if you don't have any money to run paid advertising. Because the thing that I wanted to include in this program is, if you have no money to go out there and do paid acquisition, which a lot of people don't, where do you start? Like, what is the most brutally effective way to go out there and get clients when you don't have money to be running all these elaborate paid ads campaigns? And I really want to empower you regardless of where you're at in your business and how much resources that you've got. Because when I started my business, I didn't have any money to run paid ads. I had to use sweat equity. I had to pick up the phone and make 150 cold calls per day because that was the only thing that I knew how to do to go out there and get clients. And then I found a lot of other more effective ways to go out there and do it. And I started to add those weaponries to my arsenal to go out there and get clients. And go out there and get 70 clients in my first year using a combination of these strategies. And I'm going to be really pulling back the curtain and really showing you everything that you need to know to go out into your marketplace, regardless of how much money that you have in your bank right now, and go out there and start getting clients immediately. However, I do want to make a very key distinction, and that is this, right? You should only be doing these methods, and you should only be employing these methods that I'm going to be running you through in today's training if you have absolutely no other choice, right? As soon as you have enough money to start advertising, then you must pivot to the paid customer acquisition right away. Like, there isn't any excuses, because paid acquisition is definitely the most effective and the most scalable, right? And that is really the key in order to scale your business up to that 7-figure number with predictability and consistency, where you're not just like constantly out there doing all the stuff that I'm going to be running you through. So this stuff is going to be very exciting and it's going to be very effective, but I really do need to cement you in the fundamentals that you're only going to do this until you have enough money to start running paid advertising. That is until you get your first 1 or 2 or 3 clients and there's a little bit of money saved away in the bank account where you don't mind to put that money in harm's way and start to test and start running ads to get clients. Because that's the only true way that you can build a team and start to serve more people, is if you do have a system that you can put $1 in and $2 comes out, or 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever it is, where you know every day you're going to get X amount of leads coming in and people booking in on your calendar, and you know what your conversion rate's going to be on those inbound leads. That's the only way you're going to be able to sleep at night and be able to employ people and know that you can easily pay for their salaries is if you do have this rinse and repeat process, okay? So with all that said, let's dive into exactly how we go out there and start getting clients. Now, these strategies work like absolute crazy to go out there and start getting clients, without spending money on advertising. Now, some do require more manual work, and 100% free, like you don't need any money to get started on them, while others require like $100 or $200 and are semi-automated, and they scale a lot easier and a lot better. However, in any case, it doesn't matter who your dream prospect is. I'm going to be giving you the weaponry that you need to go out into your marketplace and to catch them. And there is no one, like I mean no one, that you can't reach with these strategies if you are creative enough. Literally no one can hide. I've done millions of dollars of worth of deals using these very same strategies that I'm going to be showing you right now. So catching wild boars, that is your dream customers that are out there just running around in the forest that is online, and they have no idea that you exist and that you can help them solve their problems, but they would be a really, really great fit for your services, and you would really, really be able to help them, right? But you don't have any money to run ads, so you can't even put a stimulus in front of these people to reach them. They are completely oblivious that you exist. And that's always the challenge when you're starting out. You're always like, I've got this really, really great product or service. How do I help these people? I know I can really help these people. If only I could just get in contact with them, or if only that they would listen to me. Well, I'm going to show you, and not only how to just get their attention, but how to catch these wild boars and how to really demonstrate to them that you can dramatically help them. So the first way that we do that is by using cold email outreach. Okay, so I also call this shotgun farming, as it's kind of like you spray a wide net of bullets and you're basically trying to hit a target. And look, there are 3.8 billion email users in the world today. Pretty much any person that you want to get in contact with, you can do so via cold email. And cold email outreach is a free way that you can use to engage with your prospects, to really grab their attention and generate enough interest to create a hot lead. And it's a really effective way to fill up the top of your funnel for free and generate qualified B2B leads without having to cold call. And it's really the cold calling like 2.0 movement. Instead of, reaching out and cold calling like I was, like 100, 150 people a day, you can cold email hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people a day. And it's a lot more like effective to kind of scale that process out where you're not having to make a lot of confronting cold calls. Now, cold email outreach isn't anything new. You've probably heard it. You probably get cold emails all the time, but I'm going to be really showing you the ninja strategies, like how to take cold email and just pump this thing up on steroids so it's just way more effective with templates and tools and software and all of that kind of jazz. So it all starts with building a list of qualified prospects, right? And there are a few ways that we do this. So the first way that we do it is by using LinkedIn. LinkedIn has over 300 million users worldwide right now, and you can target people based on their job titles, their industry, their location, and the list goes on. But I'm not talking about using LinkedIn in the normal, shitty, manual way. No. As you can probably tell by now, like I always look at how can I deconstruct things and just completely take them to the next level. And this is no exception. So the software that we use is called LinkedIn Helper. And what this allows you to do is to generate thousands of targeted contacts by sending them personal invitations to your second and third contacts. That's just one of the things that we can use it for. It's basically a way to automate your work with LinkedIn and really use it as like a sales navigator. So you can do this by auto mailing and auto responding to people. You can reach out and basically do, a whole bunch of requests to form first connections every single day. And really what you can do is you can start going in and building a list of prospects based on, your first contacts. You can get all of their email addresses, or your second and your third. And it's like a pipeline. And this thing is only $15 per month. And you can essentially scrape 1,000 contacts per day and add them to a list. And like, I'm not a lawyer. You need to look at the T's and C's and whether or not this is fully legal in the area of the world that you operate in. So it is a little bit of a gray area depending on where your location is. Nonetheless, it allows you to get 1,000 contacts per day, whether they're all your first connections you can pull first or the second, or you can even pull people in and say, I want to basically form a list of 1,000 contacts per day of people who are, the CEO or founders or marketing managers or director of marketing for this kind of category of industry in this location. And it will go out there automatically and start pulling it in. So you can find the link to this software in the resources section of this module. It's called linkedhelper.com. And you can watch the video on there, get set up. It's $15 per month in order to get set up, and it is worth absolutely every cent. It's just a Chrome extension that gets into your Chrome, you leave it running, and away you go. Now, if this is not for you, or you don't feel 100% comfortable about this, or if you just don't want to have to learn how to use this software, even though it's extremely easy, there's a YouTube video on their homepage that shows you everything. For the sake of this training, I'm not going to show you walk you through step by step on how to do it, because there's already training on their website exactly how to do that. And if for some reason you hit any roadblocks, you can reach out to their support and they'll be more than happy to help you. But it's extremely simple and it's extremely effective. But let's just say that this isn't for you. The next way that you can do it is by using Upwork. And look, there is a ton of these sites out there, right? Whether it's like freelancer.com or Upwork or whatever it might be, they're pretty much all the same. And the one that I prefer is Upwork. And essentially, it's just a site full of freelancers from people all over the world that will help you to basically do any task. And the way that we use it is we use it to post a job for people who are in the data collection space. So you go to their website, you can type in data collection, and you can just start to see there are literally thousands and thousands of people in this space that's what they do. They specialize in data collection. Look at this top one. Mary Grace M. Top rated lead gen with vast web research and data entry experience. Or, the next one, LinkedIn lead generation, $10 an hour for this one. Welcome to my LinkedIn lead generation profile. I'm very hardworking, honest, speedy, accurate freelancer with expertise, knowledge, and lead generation. Or the next one, $11 an hour as a 7-year plus experience and top rated web scraping data extraction, data mining, data crawling freelancer in Upwork. So far, I have completed 404 scraping jobs. So essentially, the way that it works with these people, you might be, somebody that is looking for leads in Melbourne or in New York or in Florida, and you say I want to get a list of property development companies that are in New York. And you just post a job on this site, and I'm going to give you the exact templates. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do that in a moment. And essentially what these people will do is they will go out there, and that's what they specialize in. They specialize in data scraping, getting the information, finding out where it is, and then they build you a list of highly qualified prospects that, something that would take you a week, 2-3 weeks to do manually. And you can have somebody do that for $10 an hour and get you thousands and thousands and thousands of highly qualified leads. So let me run you through exactly, how you post a job ad, what you're going to say, and all of the details on that. And you need to be very specific, and there's a way to go about exactly how to do this. So let me run you through that right now. So in the resource section of this module, you will find a lead generation list job description. So basically, this is a job description that we put up on Upwork. And what you must understand is that the most important element of using cold email outreach to get new clients is the list of prospects that you build to outreach to in the first place. And here are a few examples of job ads that you can post directly up to Upwork and start generating a list of qualified prospects. So job ad 1. And the name of that job ad would be generate a list of prospects /leads of type of company, for instance. So generate a list of leads of property investment companies. And then in the job description, you want to say a little bit about us, right? So, we're a digital marketing agency who specifically helps property investment companies get more leads. And we operate in Australia, and we basically sell these companies our marketing services. Now, you might be thinking, like, why is that important? Well, what you must understand is that these people that are going to be fulfilling and bidding on these jobs, that they are hungry to please us and to make us happy and deliver us really good quality leads. So then we continue to use their services and they continue to make money off our relationship. And the better details that you can give them, a more descriptive, a little bit of an understanding about your company and the products and services that you sell, the better that they're going to be able to go out there and get that information for you and deliver you the best leads. Then the job ad goes on to say, we're looking to generate and increase the number of leads for our sales team. This project includes the following: find contact info of suitable prospects, compile accurate list in Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel, share your list of screened prospects and contact info with the sales team. Then you would go on to say, what are the areas that you're looking to generate leads for? If it's Australia or the United States or Canada, wherever it might be, you need to specify that. Then we're going to go down into the contact info that we need for each lead to be validated as a lead. Name. And you notice here that I've got must be like this: John, not John, or then like all in caps, or, in a combination, or all lowercase. And the reason for that is that you just want it in a way that you just directly import it into the software that we're going to be using, and you don't need to be manually editing their names, because when you're doing that across 100, if not thousands of contacts, it's extremely time consuming. And you might be thinking, like, surely I don't need to spell it out like that for them, Sabri. And the reality of it is that you do. You don't want to leave anything to chance. And all of this stuff I'm telling you from hard-learned experiences of getting thousands of leads, with different names on them, or posting jobs on there for people to mine through existing data and to put it into a format that I can actually use. So you need to be extremely explicit. That's the reason I cover this off. Then the title of the job of the person that you're looking for, the company, work email, phone number, if available. So that's not 100% required, but if it's available, we want to get it. LinkedIn profile, their website. Then we go on to say, the project requires, you have to tell them about like the requirements based on your team's specifications, such as the industry, knowledge, the language, or the target customers, or whatever it is, whatever the specific details are about exactly the kind of leads that you're looking to generate. Then you want to say, in your proposal, please share a brief summary of your experience, including a 1-minute audio self-introduction. You might be thinking, why is that necessary, Sabri? Well, you're going to see very quickly that when you post these ads on Upwork, you're going to get hundreds and hundreds of people bidding on them. And then you're quickly going to ask yourself, how do I differentiate who are the best guys and who aren't the best guys, right? And a really good barrier to entry is somebody that is willing to just do a 1-minute audio self-introduction. It's going to save you time. It's going to put a barrier up, so you're only going to get really hungry people that actually want to complete this task. So it's a great way, it's a great screening tool to use. Important notes. Emails must be real emails. They will be checked using an email verification software. So we'll be using, a software where we can check if these emails are valid. So we're not going to be, be just taken for a ride. We're only going to be paying for verified email addresses. Now, in your application, please provide the price per lead that you can deliver us. We want to know exactly what their bid is, how much we're going to be paying as a cost per lead. That's one of the requirements that we're going to be able to make a decision on somebody. And we also want in your proposal for you to please provide a sample of 10 leads, right? We want to see the quality of leads. We want to see that they can adhere to that basic details that we asked about, how to get the name and all of that stuff that we want. 10 sample leads. We're looking for a hardworking, honest, and detailed-oriented individual. This is an ongoing job. If hired, your services will be used on an ongoing basis. We need to carrot and stick them a bit, right? We need to let them know that this is not just a one-off thing, because it's not. Like, if you find a good partner, for this, this is something that you will continue to do for months, in terms of giving them that work and constantly have that work. Preferred qualifications: English level fluent, location, Ukraine, Philippines, and Russia. Why? I found that they're the best areas. The good cost per labor in those areas. And also these people, they really kind of just follow down to the T of exactly what it is that you need. That is going to screen a lot of people out from, Pakistan, India, and whatnot. And there's nothing against those countries at all. But in terms of, having experience in using Upwork, I found these 3 countries to deliver the best results without any exceptions. Skills: data mining, data scraping, internet research, lead generation, spreadsheets, and web scraping. That's just going to trigger so that your ad pops up in all of those different categories. Now, in terms of project budget, you have to put a budget in there, right? And people are going to come back and bid on, and they're going to tell you what their price per lead is. But essentially, I recommend starting with a project budget of anywhere between $50 to $250. And like anything, the price will vary. However, you'll find that you'll be able to find someone to kind of give you like the job at both ends of those spectrums. Like there's people that I know that have generated, thousands of contacts, at just $70. They get thousands of contacts per day. And it really is a bit of like a lucky dip on who you get. You might be saying that, oh, I'm not going to do $250. I'm just going to start at $50. Again, you do pay for what you get for. You do pay for what you get. And in terms of the pricing, you might post it at $50 and find that you get no bids. However, it's rare. You're probably going to get lots of bids. But I just find that having a big price range is just going to bring people in from all ends of the spectrum, and then you can evaluate those people, right? And you can find out who you think is going to be the best fit based on their cost per lead and also the samples of their leads and just how many jobs that they've completed in the past. Examples, right? Just included a couple of examples for you to know here. So list 1, fitness, 5,000 total. You want 1,000 of each of these. So you can get specific with the breakdown of types of leads. So it could be that you want 5,000 leads in total. You want 1,000 gym owners. You want 1,000 personal trainers. You want 1,000 gym clothing brands, and you want 1,000 fitness app companies and 1,000 soccer academies. Okay. And then you can split test those lists with whatever your offer is. And you can go, oh, okay, look, personal trainers, these guys are the ones that are responding to best. That's where my dream prospects are really hiding, and I can catch one of those wild balls in there. That's where you want to go for. List 2, medical, right? And as again, 1,000, you might say, I want 1,000 surgeons, 1,000 dentists, 1,000 chiropractors, 1,000 hypnosis doctors, whatever it might be. Another example, 5,000 prospects again. 1,000 restaurants, 1,000 transportation companies, 1,000 real estate brokers or coaches, preferable in the life coaches space, small business owners of any kind. Okay, and that's just a job ad that you can plug and play, away you go. But an important thing to note is that you want to make sure that you give that awarded freelancer, of whoever you give the job to, you want to give them this prospect list template and ask them to create a new spreadsheet, but to simply fill in this template, right? You don't want them creating their own spreadsheet and their own formatting and all that stuff. You just want them to plug and play using your one because the software that we're going to be using, this is going to be compatible, and then up and away we go. So this is the job ad. Let's get back to the training. So once you've gone and compiled your list, now this brings us to actually writing the emails that we're going to be sending to this list of prospects. And writing cold emails that get opened and that get read and then get taken actioned on is really an art, and a general rule of sending fewer but more personalized emails generally gets the best results. So writing cold emails that demand attention, and you really must personalize them, right? Because that's the only way to get cut through, because everyone's getting hammered by a whole bunch of different cold emails. So using a prospect's name, their company name, or any other personalized information that you have in order to get their attention in the inbox, right? We're fighting for their attention. The second thing that you must know is you just got to cut to the chase, like be brief and conversational, like that you're talking to a friend or a coworker. I can't tell you how many times, I get an email from some person that's cold emailed me, and it's like a wall of text, and it's like immediately I'm just deleting and archiving that, right? And you need to make sure that you're just using language that is very conversational, and doing so is going to make sure that your email really stands out amongst the mountain of the lengthy marketing emails. Because the very first thing when you're reaching out to a prospect is that you're asking for their attention, and either you're saying like, or dear sir, or dear Sabri, or any of that shit, like you're gonna get immediately deleted and ignored. And then in addition to that, even if you're like, hey Sabri, and then it's like 5 paragraphs long, I am going to ignore that because I don't have the time to invest in that. And I know that you just want something from me. So it's gone immediately, right? So some examples of, subject lines and how you stand out from the get-go. Mark, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but I think bang. It's like, okay, what is this, right? So again, it's like, if your name is Mark and, Sabri Subi has sent you an email with your name on there, and then the preview text of that is, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but I think you're going to open that thing because it doesn't sound like, it's like some company that's going to solicit you with some offer. It's literally the person's first name, and then I don't know if you've seen this or not, okay? Then another example, Mark, did you see this? I hope your week's traveling well. What did I see? The curiosity is burning, I want to know. Another one, Sabri Subi, sent from myself, didn't see this coming. I hope your week's traveling well. So it's the same preview text, but subject line, didn't see this coming. What coming? Again, the goal of the subject line of an email is just to get somebody to click and open that email. That's all we're trying to do. Then another one, not sure if you saw this yet. It's just another flip on it, okay? And then lastly, look what you did, ... Like, what did I do? I want to know, right? And so they're just some examples, and you can go ahead and you can basically craft your own ones. I'm just joking. Don't worry, because Mr. Subi is here to save the day once again. And what I've gone ahead and done is I'm including my tried and tested high converting cold email templates for you to swipe and deploy in your business. So you can just go out there and start generating piping hot leads straight from the get-go. So let me run you through these emails and just break each one down for you and show you all the elements and why they work and basically how they work. And so this is the cold email templates for maximum response. And, below in this document, there are 14 subject lines with extremely high open rates, all 60% plus, for you to swipe and deploy for your own business and what's suited to your industry. I've also included an 18-day cold email sequence for you to flood your top of funnel with these leads. And cold email is hard. And a lot of the stuff that people teach in this arena of generating leads, it just doesn't work, right? But what you must understand is that all we're shooting for is a response in the first email. And here are my cold email commandments. Do not be formal and professional. Be personal and friendly. I don't care how uncomfortable that makes you. That's what we're going for because that's what works. Use lowercase for everything in the subject lines. The very first way that I know if somebody is a seasoned cold email marketer is if they're using lettercase in their subject lines or if it's all lowercase, right? And I literally don't think I've ever received an email from a cold email prospect that has all lowercase. And that's the way that you must write. When you write an email to your friend or your family, are you lettercasing everything? No, you're not. And that's the way that you must do it on a cold email. Write paragraphs that are 1 or maybe 2 sentences long, right? None of these freaking 150 word blocks of text. Use less than 70 words per email, short and sharp and punchy, straight to the point. Use plain text emails only, just like you would when you're sending them to a friend or family or a coworker, right? Do not have any HTML and all crazy stuff going on. This thing needs to look as personal as possible. So just imagine that you fired up your email and you're sending an email to your mum. That's how personal it needs to look. So the software stack that we're going to be using is called woodpecker.co, and I will be running you through that in just a moment. But for now, let's have a look at the actual emails. So these are the bunch of subject lines. So just the person's first name, I found that works incredibly well as a subject line. Or first name, did you see this? Look what you did, didn't see this coming. Big benefit for company. So more leads for King Kong, for instance. Sorry, that's meant to have a 4 in there. I'll just edit this. And so yeah, basically, that's you just put in whatever your benefit is on this section. Not sure if you saw this yet. Everything okay. Want to see what I can do in a minute. Do you think this is a good idea? Did you know this was on your site? So it's just, if you're a web designer or a digital marketer, that works like crazy. Re-problem, re that guy, girl. Hey, quick question. I found you through X da 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 da. Right? So these are just subject lines that these things are just killer. They're battle hardened. I have literally used these. They work incredibly well. Give them a shot. I'm sure that they'll work for you as well. So first email, day 1. For the first email, I've included 2 options depending on the angle that is most fitting for your market, okay? And this is only for the first email that I've included this. So subject line, big benefit for company, i.e. more customers for King Kong. Subject, or this is a different split test that you could do, double your prospects company's traffic customers results in 10 minutes. So that, but yeah, any example you can apply that for. Body copy. Hey John, there are 2 reasons I'm getting in touch. Firstly, I've heard amazing things about your company lately. And secondly, I've found some problems, issues with your website, Facebook ads, press coverage, the way that you do X, right? You're going to put in whatever is applicable to your business. Right? I found some dramatic problems with your Facebook ads. I've found some problems with your printing. I've found some problems with your website. I've found some problems with your press, with your reputation, whatever it might be. You just apply whatever it is you're going to help them with. And I'd like to send you through a package containing a summary. Can you spare 5 minutes to take a look? Reply with a quick yes, no. Cheers. Right? What does this do? Let's just break down how brilliant this email is. 1, think about how it starts. It doesn't say hello. It doesn't say dear. It just says hey. Right? Hey, Sabri, there are 2 reasons I'm getting in touch. Immediately, that is a slippery slope. I want to know what those reasons are. And firstly, that they've heard amazing things about my company lately. Excellent. Awesome. It seems personal, seems legit. And secondly, I found some problems or issues with X. I want to know what the hell those issues are. That is for sure. And I'd like to send through a package. What is the package? How is that coming? Is it a printed package? I don't understand, but the curiosity has got me bubbling up. And then reply with a quick yes, no. I'm not asking for a massive time commitment, right? All I want is a reply. Right? I just want to get some form of interaction with this person. And then I get a yes. And then what's a yes? It is an invitation to give them a call, to reach out to them, to start up a dialogue that will turn into a sales conversation. Or you might, for instance, that might not be fitting to exactly the market that you've operated in. So I've included this one. This one's nowhere near as strong. So my preference is the first one. However, if it's not a company or it's some other play or it's a direct to consumer or it doesn't make sense for you to use the top one, you can use this one if you absolutely must. Hello, I have an idea I can explain to you in 10 minutes that can get you huge weight loss results. I've recently used this idea to help, our clients lose 10 kilos in 6 weeks, or, triple their revenues, or get lots of customers, or, have incredibly intimate relationships with their spouse, whatever it might be. And then name, let's schedule a quick 10-minute phone call. I can share the idea with you. How does this date? Or here is a link to your calendar, for instance, right? So that's just another context of how you could do it. Moving forward. So the second email, we're going to schedule this to go out on day 3. So day 1 is this email, and then day 3, we're going to give them a breathing room in between emails. And don't worry, I'm going to explain how all of this works in a moment. So day 3, their first name. So Sabri, did you see this? Hey Sabri, John here again. I know things at King Kong must be crazy at the moment, but I'm just following up on the previous email that I sent you. Let's have a quick chat to go over some ideas I have to help you, get more customers. I've got a few quick fixes that can solve the most common problems. So, I've got a few quick fixes that can make sure that your sales team's calendars are stacked with appointments. How does Tuesday at 2 p.m. look on your calendar? Alternatively, here is a link to my calendar, or feel free to send me yours, right? Again, I just need to make this as simple as possible. I do not want them to have to apply much brain power to getting this thing to work for them. I want to make it as simple and as easy as possible. Then the third email, this one goes out on day 8. Again, we're leaving them a little bit of time. We don't want to be heckling them every day. Subject line, re-problem. Hey Sabri, hope you had an amazing weekend, week, day, whatever it might be. Wanted to see what your teams thought of my suggestions. As it currently stands, you have some alarming issues with your website, and this is why you don't have as many appointments as you could possibly want. Let me know if I can help at all. All the best. Nice, short and sharp. Nothing too onerous. Again, I'm just bumping it, right? Just letting them know that they've got this problem. I can help them with this problem, blah, 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 blah. Fourth email, this one goes out on day 12. That guy or girl, depending whether or not you're a man or a woman. Sabri, I don't want to be that guy who keeps sending unwanted follow-ups. Please let me know if you're not interested in getting 50 piping hot leads every single month, and I'll take you off my list of companies to check in with. Thanks. I just want a response, right? So the fifth email, this one goes out, this is the last email, and it goes out on day 18. And the subject line on this one is just first name. Body copy. Come on, Sabri, please let me know if you're interested in generating 50 plus leads, and I'll take you off my list of companies to check in with. It's just that last little crack, right? So these emails are going to work like crazy for you. Apply them, and I really can't wait to hear exactly how this goes for you, and wait to hear how many clients that you're able to land from just following this process. So let's go back to the training now. So the next step in the process is actually sending out emails. So how do you actually send out these emails? We've gotten the list of prospects, we've gotten the emails, but how do we actually send them out? Well, there are a bunch of different softwares out there for sending out cold emails, okay? But before I run you through the software that we're going to be using, I need to explain that doing cold email is not legal everywhere in the world, and it's a bit of a gray area. So I'm not a lawyer, and you are definitely going to need to check with the laws of your individual country to whether or not you are able to send out cold emails. For instance, Canada is one that you just absolutely cannot do it. But again, wherever you are in the world, you're going to need to check that if this is definitely compliant and legal in your area. So now that we've got that disclaimer out of the way, let me run you through basically how we send out these emails. So the software that I'm recommending you to use is called woodpecker.co. And again, you can find a link to this website in the resources section of this module. It's $40 per month. And essentially what you do is you get your list of prospects, and then you load it up into this, and it will validate all of those email addresses. And then you load in your cold email outreach templates, and you sequence it out for the 18 days, okay? Now, I'm not going to go into specifically exactly how to set up each individual email and show you how to cut and paste, the subject lines and all of that kind of stuff, because it's incredibly easy to do. And these guys have a ton of, videos and support to get you all set up. So what I will run you through is how this software works in a nutshell. You want to integrate your email. So if you're using, G Suite or Gmail or Outlook or whatever server base that you're using, you integrate that into this, and you basically, they've got a system where you just click a button and you just follow the process. Then the next thing that you want to do is to use the link in the resources section and actually go get those templates for the emails and basically copy and paste these in here. And you'll notice that they've got like first name snippets. So it just pulls in the first name from the spreadsheet that you've got, and away you go. And so you just want to basically format that up there, sequence it out. Then you set up the delivery using the days that I have written on those templates. So day 1, day 3, etc. And then you just put in exactly, where you want to be, what times that you want to be emailing them. I typically find that sending the emails out early morning is the best time, depending on your market and all of that kind of stuff. So you can split test all of those different things. And Woodpecker is going to give you all of the stats around that. Now this is where you set your time gap out. So as I was saying, day 1, day 3, you put that in here. It's just like literally drop downs. It's as simple as possible. Then you want to add a condition, right? That will set up the next follow-up trigger. So if a prospect has opened an email more than 5 times, for instance, you can set up a different trigger for them, and you could send them down, for instance, a different email path. However, I don't suggest doing that right now because it's just too advanced and you don't need it to generate, lots and lots of leads. Now, we have gotten our list of contacts from, whatever means that you're chosen to do, whether you're using Linked Helper or you're going to be using Upwork and getting a list, or you're using a combination of both. Whatever it is, you got your CSV file, you're going to upload those contacts into Woodpecker, okay? And then basically once you've done that, you've put in all of your emails, you've scheduled out the days and the times that they're going, then you basically hit send. And what Woodpecker does is it's going to pull in that first name or the company name or whatever details that you have, and it's going to personalize all of those emails for you, and it's going to send them from your Gmail account, right? Just as if you were a real person actually doing this yourself manually. And it's that personalization and it coming from your Gmail account that makes everything stack up and it seem as genuine and you get this high cut through as possible. Right? Then it's going to, you're going to have those times and those days, and then it's just going to start sending it out to those full list of contacts. And it's going to follow up in the same thread. So when you're saying, hey, let me know if this is a yes or a no, they're going to reply and it's going to come back in the same thread on Gmail or Outlook or whatever you're using. And it's just incredibly real, right? And it just seems like you have genuinely reached out to that person. And that's how you really, really get that cut through and that reply and the action that you want. It's also going to, you might be thinking well, what's going to happen if they reply? Are they going to get the same email on day 3 and then 5 and 8 and all that kind of stuff? Well, as soon as a person has replied, it's going to pull them out of that sequence, and they're not going to get the follow-up emails anymore because they've already done what we want them to do, which is reply to the email. And you can set up all different types of conditional rules around that, like if they've forwarded it to somebody, and it also picks up if someone has forwarded it to a member of their team and then replied, or if it's an autoresponder that's replied and it's not a human being, then it won't pull them from the sequence. So this software does all of that grunt work for you just to ensure that you get the best results. Then after your campaigns goes out, it will show you, okay, out of the 1,000 prospects that you've uploaded, for instance, how many people are opening them, how many people are clicking them, how many of those emails weren't invalid. And that's where it's when you upload your list after you get it from your freelancer, you're going to basically say that okay, 10% of this list was invalid. They weren't real email addresses. So there's 1,000 prospects. You're going to be I'll pay you for 900 prospects because that's what I was paying for. I was paying for valid, verified email addresses, right? Then it shows you the bounce. It shows you what your reply rate is, and it shows you all of your stats in an easy to read dashboard. And you'll be waking up every morning and just looking at this thing and looking at all the replies you're getting, and you'll be waking up to an inbox that has lots of leads and lots of activity in there. So you can jump in and start to action that stuff rather than, start just cold calling people and have to start a day on a clean slate. You're going to have already people that are interested, that have replied overnight, all of that kind of stuff. And it's going to show you all of your replies on your inbox, on Woodpecker, or in Gmail, whatever you want. It can show you both. It can show you in one of the two, and you can just see, and then you can just basically mark it as interested or maybe later or not interested. right? And then typically, depending on how eager you are, you can have their phone number in the signature when they reply. And you might just find, I'm just going to give this person a call and just get straight into it and show them how I can help them if they're so piping hot, right? It all depends. And then you can basically just follow this process. As I said, it's $40 per month. You can do a 14-day free trial. You will be able to get a client probably in the first 14 days. And then this thing just becomes free forever because you've already gotten a client off it. And it's super, super simple. Like 15 minutes, you'll be up and away with these templates once you've got your lead list. So there you have it. That's basically how you get set up on Woodpecker. Go ahead and you can do that. There's a link to this in the resources section. For now, let's get back to the training. So as I said, Woodpecker starts at $40 per month, depending on, if you want to have multiple reps and emails coming out from your sales team or whatever it might be. However, you start with a 14-day free trial and away you go. So then in terms of what do you do with the people that are replying, right? With the leads that are coming in saying, yeah, that sounds interesting, Sabri. Like, I would like to know more about that. I would love to find out what your solution is. This is where you make your Godfather offer, right? Which is going to be a 30-minute consultation that's going to be free. That's going to run them through exactly how you can help them get to where it is that they want to go. And that's just what you want to do. You're going to have your Godfather offer already crafted and you're going to have that documented, and it's just simply a cut and paste reply. You want to set up like a canned saved email in Gmail that you can just reply to everybody that says, yes, that sounds interesting. What's the next step? Then you just send that standalone email that says, hey, this is, and then basically insert your Godfather offer. Right? Like, hey, I would love to give you a detailed rundown of exactly how we can help you increase your conversions by giving you a detailed breakdown of your landing page's copy, how we would supercharge the offer that you make on them to dramatically improve your leads. At the end of the call, I'll give you a breakdown of your best converting landing page and show you how you can make it even better. Here is a link to my calendar that you can click on and go and schedule that. Or, basically saying like, hey, I want to show you exactly how I can help you lose 10 kilos in the next 90 days. I'll give you a detailed breakdown of, your diet plan, what your workout plan should be and how much you should be working out, and some other little tips and hacks that you can do to immediately improve your weight loss, blah, 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 blah. And then here's a link to my calendar. And you might be thinking, well, that's so much value just there on that Godfather offer, Sabri. Why would they want to subscribe to me? We're demonstrating to these people that we can help them by actually helping them on the call. We're not just giving them all of our services for free. We're giving them the 10,000 foot overview of exactly how we can help them and demonstrate that we can help them by showing them exactly this is what we would be doing. These are the tips, the hacks. This is, some of the results that I've been able to get in the past. So that's all we're trying to do is from a cold email is to elicit a response, get somebody to go, yep, interested in hearing more about that. What do I need to do? Or yes, tell me more. That's when we make our Godfather offer, link to our calendar, and then away we go. And we open up that dialogue. Or we basically present them with their Godfather offer in an email, grab their phone and get straight into it. Or you might even just choose to call them and go, cool, hey, just got your email. Basically, essentially, do you have 5 minutes now for me to run you through what this process looks like? And explain you and just break into your Godfather offer straight up off the get-go. So whatever is going to work for you depending on how your day is structured. But that's basically the process that you want to follow. Now, the next brings us to panning for gold. And this is about being a little bit more targeted with your approach, right? And finding your ideal clients. And it's like a gold nugget. Like you just want to find that specific perfect client. And you might find that you don't want to go for the cold email outreach. And that's not the strategy for you. And I recommend doing all of these strategies, to be honest, because if you're, watching this training program, you need clients. And I want to leave no stone unturned with being able to help you get as many clients as you possibly can, because then we're going to be moving off these free acquisition methods and we're going to be using paid acquisition that we can really skyrocket the amount of clients that we're getting and just ratchet up to that next level. But in terms of panning for gold, the best free place to do this and to find the best ideal clients online without doing any emails or any of that kind of stuff is Facebook groups. And there are countless Facebook groups in every single niche, in every country, in pretty much every single city around the world. From property investment to aged care to tax planning, digital marketing, copywriting, home building, interior design, fitness, health, well-being, like you name it, there is a Facebook group out there for it. And not just like worldwide, like I'm talking about in each individual city with thousands of members in it. And it's just an amazing resource to be able to find people that are experiencing problems that our product or service can solve. So for example, right, you want to go out and find the groups where your ideal clients are hanging out. So, you go to Facebook, /groups. Just go to Facebook, type in groups, and you can start searching, right? And you're searching in the relevant group. So you want to type in that search field in the top left-hand corner of Facebook, for instance, something like property investment, and your location, or even type in something like groups joined by people who like my page, or groups of friends by people who like, a competitor's page, or whatever it might be. But basically you type in the keyword that you want to, and then it just starts bringing up like a whole bunch of different pages. If you're in the health niche, for instance, right? The health and wellness niche, you might know like that your ideal clients have tried to use Weight Watchers before, or you can go on and actually type in groups and go in, groups joined by people who liked Weight Watchers. And then it's going to show you all of the groups that people are in that also like Weight Watchers. And that's like another qualifying criteria. And just look here, like breastfeeding Weight Watchers mamas. There's 7,300 people in that one. Weight Watchers recipes and tips. There's 814,000 members in there, right? And there's 10 plus posts per day for people that are looking for recipes and tips of how to lose weight, right? That is an abundance of people. Weight Watchers recipe and tips, Smart Points Freestyles, another one, 873,000 in that one. Weight Watchers recipes only, 486,000. Weight Watchers Smart Points support, 8.7,000 people in that. Weight Watchers Freestyle Smart Points Food and Recipes, there's another group, and there's got 225,000 people in there. As you can see, there is no shortage of your dream prospects congregating online in Facebook groups. And when you go into these groups, there are like people just actively saying, can somebody please help me? Like, I am seeking help. Could you please help me with this? Or you might be a copywriter, and then you can narrow, your search down to say 5 or 10 groups. So you might type in copywriting, and then you've got, copywriting hacks, how to write copy and influence people. There's 5.8 thousand people in this one. Copywriting jobs, right? People that, are looking for jobs in this space, or people that are looking for help from copywriters. There's 6.4 thousand people in this group. This group is for copywriters looking for work and businesses looking for copywriters. If you have a job offer, please stick to that. Bang. Do you know what I mean? It's just like there's people out there, and there's 6.4 thousand people, businesses that are out there looking to hire copywriters. And Science of Copywriting, this group has 5.1 thousand members. Welcome to the Science of Copywriting. Every day I post new articles on help you become a better copywriter. Again, people go on to these groups to learn how to write copy, and typically they want to hire copywriters, or they go on there to find copywriters because this is where they're congregating online. So you want to start by answering questions in these groups and connecting with group members. And there is a lot of low-lying fruit in these groups. That is people with pressing problems. They have a bleeding neck and they are looking for solutions. And let me show you, I've just joined these groups just to show you a bunch of examples. Wanted. Looking for an experienced direct response copywriter to join the team on a part-time/full-time basis. Our verticals are in Australian financial comparison space, but if you've got strong research skills, we're open to non-Australian applicants. Bonus points for copywriters with strong understanding of consumer psychology, experience with writing advertorial/editorial style content, a solid understanding of A/B testing and CRO, conversion rate optimization. If this sounds like you, please send me a PM, personal message. Note that I have advertised here on this role before. If you applied last time and didn't receive a reply, please apply again. I have been off sick for several weeks, so apologies for the lack of reply. This is somebody who's looking to hire a copywriter just in this group, right? So if you're a good copywriter and you know this space, then you go on here and you don't apply like normal people. Everyone's just going to be just putting up basic, versions of their copy. But you're going to use the methods that I've taught you, and you're going to basically go a little bit over and above. You're going to offer them your Godfather offer, and you're going to use stuff that I'm going to show you later on in this module of exactly how to get cut through to these people. Here is another one, looking for a copywriter with insight and experience with car dealerships. Right? And you'll notice that these posts already have like a ton of people commenting and responding on them, right? And so how do you make sure that you stand out head and shoulders above all the rest? Because when I tell this to people, they're like, oh, there's already so many people, Sabri, commenting on all this stuff, right? Again, they're just trying to make excuses, but I'm not going to allow you to make any excuses because I'm going to give you what you need to have in order to get the cut through. So let me show you. And this is what I call cold client acquisition using a sniper rifle, because so far we've looked at mass market ways of getting clients for free. So using like mass cold email outreach to reach out to hundreds and thousands of people, right? To kind of get them to really take us up on an offer or to get their attention. But now we're going to be looking at highly targeted and brutally effective ways to fill your funnel. So you do that by using a sniper rifle for customer acquisition. So what do I mean by that? Well, unlike, having a spray and pray approach where we're just cold emailing everybody, a sniper rifle is really like one shot, one kill. We don't have thousands of rounds of ammunition. We're zeroing in on our dream prospect and we're reaching out to them in a one-on-one basis. And the way that we do that is by using something called Loom, which you can find at loom.com. Again, I will include a link in the resources section. And this thing is free and it is killer. You get like notifications when people have like watched a video. So what it does, it records a video of your screen and it also pulls in your webcam. So it's got your face in it as well. And these things are just crazy effective because they're so personalized. You're making a personalized video for your dream prospect. And you're putting a face to a name and you're able to talk to them and then get notifications when they've actually watched it. And when I say talk to them, I mean talk to them on video. It's much more powerful than just a straight up text email. And you can use this in Facebook groups. You can use it to send it in a LinkedIn message or even in one-on-one emails. And the cut through on this thing is just insanity. Like typically if someone's watching this thing, you're going to get a response because whoever just gets a kind of a personalized video, on somebody talking about how you can help them solve your problem. So how does it exactly work? And what do you say and all of that kind of stuff? Well, let me show you, right? So basically, as opposed to cold emails, the reason that this is so effective is because the cold email approach, it definitely does work, but it is like using a shotgun to hunt. As you're spraying a message out to thousands of people, where screen recordings like this Loom video is like a sniper rifle, and you're strategically selecting exactly who it is that you want to target, and then you are crafting a personalized message for them, and then you're firing. So here's just an example of, for instance, if you were a copywriter and you were reaching out to somebody to help them craft better direct response copy. So I'll play this video so you can watch. And this is just off the cuff. I didn't prepare this. I just went bang, away we go. Let me just put together an example of exactly. So this is how a Loom video works. So you've got me. I'm down in the bottom, and that's kind of capturing my webcam, and what you can see is my face up on the screen. And that's good because it just adds that bit of personality. It's a real person behind whoever's sending this video. And then you can see like my screen recording and what I've got up on my screen of my computer. So I'll just break out and show you exactly how I would structure this. For say, for instance, if you were a copywriter, a direct response copywriter, and you're reaching out. So there you have it. That is basically how a Loom video works. Now, let's use this example, right, that we just saw earlier, like looking for a copywriter with insight experience with car dealerships. You make a live video around that, right? So for instance, you'll be able to click on this person's profile, and then you'll be able to go through and actually have a look. And typically they've got the company that they work at, or you Google them online, you'll be able to find the company that they're looking for. Then you'll be able to find some of their landing pages, or you can plug them in to SEMrush or one of these tools and find out their ads, find out one of their landing pages, or use Facebook ads library, type in the business name, find some of their Facebook ads, and find their landing page. Then what you do is you make a Loom video critiquing their copy and telling them how exactly you'd be able to help them. Now, out of those 10 comments, how many of those people do you think would have done that? I can tell you 0, a big fat 0, because I've had a look and nobody does any of this stuff. They don't go that extra mile, and then they never get insane results like this. So then you just take 5-10 minutes out of your day and you create them a really good video showing them exactly how you can help them, and even showing them like past case studies or other results or some of your copy. Like out of those 10 people, you are going to get the job. They are going to want to work with you. You're going to just stand out head and shoulders as someone that's already demonstrated that you can help them by actually helping them. And, if you commit to doing a number of these per day, you're going to have more leads and more clients than you know what to do with. And then you can move to the paid acquisition methods. So let's look at a plan of attack. So, I've spoken about the cold email. I've spoken about using Facebook groups and panning for gold that way. And then I've looked at cold sniper rifle customer acquisition. Now let's come up with a plan, because you might be thinking, I wonder which one I'm going to do, or how many cold emails I'm going to need to send, or should I do the Loom videos, or should I just do LinkedIn, or should I do Facebook groups and all of that kind of stuff. And you're probably working yourself up into a frenzy where you're wondering where to start right now. So I'm just going to give you a basic plan of exactly what you need to do in order to land your first paying client in the next 5 days. Because let's just get down to it. Let's just start getting you some clients in the door. So cold email outreach. We're going to send 400 emails per day. Now, typically, depending on where you're sending those emails through, if you're doing it through Gmail allows you to send a maximum of 400 emails per day before they kind of flag your account as being suspicious. So if you're somebody that doesn't send much emails through your email at the moment, then you could probably get away with 400 emails a day. On the safe side, you can go down to 200 to 300. But I'm just going to assume that you don't send many emails and you have that 400 emails per day limit. Then you're also going to use Linked Helper, and you're going to farm 500 contacts a day from that. Then Facebook groups, you're going to spend 1 hour per day, and you are going to send 5 Loom videos to 5 different people, okay? So you're going to basically see these people that are posting these comments asking for help, and you're going to make 5 Loom videos every single day. It's going to take you 1 hour to do that. So 1 hour of your day will be spent on Facebook group prospecting. Next up is LinkedIn messages. You're also going to spend 1 hour per day, and you are going to identify 5 prospects that you can send a video each. So 5 videos in total. You can either do this by manually reaching out to people that look like a dream prospect on LinkedIn, or you can use Linked Helper to get a more scalable approach. Nonetheless, you're going to create 5 videos for 5 individual prospects. So let's just look at this plan of attack and think about the the blanket that you're going to be throwing out over your marketplace. You're going to be sending out 400 emails to 400 individuals per day. Then in addition to that, you're going to be reaching out to 500 contacts per day from Linked Helper and on LinkedIn. There's 900 prospects there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to add an additional 5 people from Facebook groups and create 5 videos, and then another 5 people from LinkedIn messages, and you're going to create another 5 videos. So we've got 910 prospects that we're reaching out to every day. We're going for the mass market approach. We're going for the contact approach. Then we're going for the Facebook group and personalized video. And then we're also going for LinkedIn as well with the personalized sniper rifle videos. So if you do this, there really is not any way that you will not have a paying client in the next 5 days, unless when you get on the phone with these people, you're just not even opening your mouth and saying anything. I think you can see that, if you went through these extreme levels of activity, you are going to get an extreme output, which comes to this quote: extreme results require extreme actions. I'm trying to really help you make a quantum leap of growth in your business, right? And this is not going to be done by just taking like moderate action. We're going to be taking violent action. We're going to be really putting in so much action that the universe cannot deny us a result, because we're just out there pushing and shoving so hard out into our marketplace that it is only a matter of time until we get our first client, then we get our second client and our 5th and our 10th, and then we start having enough money in the bank to start applying to these paid customer acquisition methods, and then you start reaching that target of exactly what it is that you need in order to live your dream life. So, I just want, you might be watching this and going, wow, that's a lot of activity. Yes, it is. And I'm trying to get you a lot of output. I'm trying to get you a lot of results, a lot of high paying clients, so you can really get to exactly where it is that you want to go. So that's the action plan. All right. So follow this thing: 400 emails, 500 contacts on Linked Helper, 1 hour per day devoted to creating 5 videos, and then 1 hour per day for 5 videos on LinkedIn messages. Just do that. It will work. So here are the action items for this module. Post a job on Upwork. Use the template. You'll be surprised with the quality of people that apply and start giving you sample leads. And this world just opens up. The possibilities open up only once you start taking action and just seeing like, wow, there really isn't any shortage of people that I can reach out to that actually really need what it is that I have to offer. Then, build your list of prospects from those applicants from Upwork, or whether it's from using Linked Helper or whatever it might be. Just start building out your list of prospects. Sign up to linkedhelper.com and Woodpecker. Get that underway. Sign up, do it now, and just get those wheels in motion. And then set up and start sending your drip sequence, which is the cold email drip sequence. We just drip it out. 1 on day 1, 1 on day 3, 1 on day 8. You just set that up, use the templates, and then just get that thing in motion. Just get that activity going. Print out the plan of attack, and then just execute. Execute on this thing violently. I've really given you every single piece of weaponry to have in your arsenal, regardless of what country you operate in, your comfort level, how much money that you've got. I'm trying to give you all the tools and weaponry that you need to go out there and start getting clients right now in the next 5 days. Just imagine what it would be like to have your first high-paying client as a result of using these methods. So get to work, and I will see you in the next video.